Hey everybody, it's Ruth with Weaving Wisdom. Oh my gosh, can't even talk this morning. Actually, in Wisdom Weavers group only. And I'm coming to you live because I've been thinking about Wisdom Weavers and what this group means and what it means to weave wisdom into life. I'm not here to read cards today. Instead, I want to talk about an experience and how this week I've had to weave an aha moment into more wisdom. So I'm thinking about the intention of this group, which is Wisdom Weavers. And I know it sounds also mysterious, and it sounds like, yes, I'm going to do that. And I started thinking, how do we bring wisdom into our lives? And it's from lived experience. So this group is not for me to promote my programs. I think you all know what I do. This group was created intentionally so that we could come together and weave our wisdom together and have conversations and be vulnerable. I trust everyone who's in this group because it's a private group. And basically, coming out with things that bring aha moments can be really scary. And so I've had to challenge myself today. I'm coming to you right after a yoga class where the thoughts just swirled and swirled around in my mind. Should I go on? Should I talk about this? Should I not? There are things that are in our world and our society we just don't talk about. And as a lot of you know, I've begun the process with my sister, Patty, um, of considering doing some sort of a retreat to reset, but also to have the topic be around mothers and daughters. It's a really complex subject. And in doing this, I've had to look at my own relationship with my mother and with my daughter. So I do have a mother, I do have a daughter. I feel sandwiched in between. My mother has since passed 3 years ago. Um, and I struggled with my relationship with her all of my life. The reason is that my mom was diagnosed with schizophrenia when I was too young, probably not even verbal at the time, and she struggled with that through her entire life. In saying that she struggled, that's my adult mind, being able to wrap my head around the life that I've had. Um, my dad was not able to be supportive. So when I was about 8, he kind of fell off, and kind of turned to alcohol for solace. And I felt very much alone. I've had some difficult times in relationships in my life, with relationships with people, understanding what it means to care about and to love other people. And everything comes back to my relationship with my mom. So when I was going through a really, really dark time in my life, a scarily dark time, I finally asked Spirit, show me the root cause of why I feel so unworthy. Show me the root cause of why I feel so afraid. And that night, I was taken into a place right before sleep, and I was taken right back to my childhood, to a very early time that I didn't remember consciously, but the memory came. And it was of my mother screaming in my face and telling me, you're nothing, you're nobody, you think you're so big. It was that moment that changed my life from there forward. The very next day, I was able to make a big shift. I took myself out of a bad situation, and I took myself on a path and journey to weave more wisdom into my life because I got it. I finally realized that sometime, maybe 4 years old, I bought into a story that wasn't true. As an adult, I can look back and look at my mom and what she may have been going through. She was a young woman. She had 4 children consecutively and felt like she was losing her mind. And yes, I was the oldest. I bore the brunt of it. She was abusive physically, emotionally. I felt crazy most of the time. So Fast forward to now, I can look at that. I can send love to her in the next life. I can realize who I am, what I am. The other day, I put on a tattoo, and I don't know if you can see it, but it says joy. And joy was my first word. I don't know how that was true, but it was. It was my first word. And I feel like joy is what I bring. It's the gift that I can bring to others. This week, I had a huge connection that was made. It was a puzzle piece. And being an empath, I have strong empathic feelings. There is somebody that I have been in contact with in my community, in one of my circles for many years, who, after I have contact with, I usually get this feeling, and it's not a good feeling. It feels yucky. It feels almost like shame. And I have a very strong sense that this person is jealous of my joy. And I could almost hear the thoughts that why does she get to have joy? Why does she get to shine? And why does she get to be so at peace and so happy? And this week, it finally dawned on me that I was feeling someone else's feelings, that they weren't mine, first of all these years off and on when I've had contact with this person. But I had an aha moment. And as I've been going deeper and deeper into my own wisdom, into my own experience, I woke up one morning and realized that my own mother was jealous of me. When I was very young, I spoke early. I was considered to be brilliant for my age, and I had so much joy. I had so much joy. And I was so sure of myself. I had confidence. I've got pictures of me standing there with my chest out and just loving life. And I realized the other morning that what I experienced from my mother was that she was jealous of my ability to master the language. She was from Korea, and she was still learning English when I was very young. Um, that she was jealous of how confident that I was. And so I began to feel shame for being confident. I began to feel shame for spreading joy and for being myself. I realize that now, and it's an amazing revelation because in connecting that with this person who was acting, I guess, as an agent to bring up this trigger in me about being jealous of me, and I could feel that, so it was palpable. I started realizing that that was also a connection that could be made from the mother-daughter relationship from many, many years ago. That's a healing moment. And boy, I was afraid to come on today and talk about this, but in this group, I feel very safe. And I want to walk my talk when we talk about weaving wisdom. You know, wisdom doesn't come easy, as you know. You know, wisdom comes from lived experience, it comes from feeling everything. And a lot of times it's painful. But when we weave that wisdom in with what we know is true, what we believe collectively, with source energy, it all begins to make some sense. So I wanted to come in and talk about that. The mother-daughter relationship is very complex for me, and maybe by saying that, I'm creating that. I don't know. Since then, I can think of my mom with love, and she's gone. You know, there was a part of me that thought, I can't talk about this because that's not honoring her spirit. But you know what? We all affect each other. And this relationship is so important. And if I'm going to go forward and create retreat experiences, hopefully later on, create women's circles where we really look at the mother-daughter relationship, then I have to come out and be vulnerable about my own. My relationship with my daughter, and she'll tell you that too, has been rocky at best for many, many years. And we're finally coming to connection now. We're finally coming to a place where we can talk about things and finally understand what in the heck happened all those years. So just want to send you all a lot of love in your mother daughter relationships, in your journey of weaving wisdom through your life, through your lived experience, and celebrating every aha moment that comes, because I think they're puzzling. They're like puzzle pieces. I have this one feeling over here that I can't understand. And then I have this experience over here in my present life that keeps pushing me toward looking at that experience again. And when those pieces finally click like a puzzle, there's the big aha. There's the big, oh, I can live with that. And not only can I live with that, I can love with that. I can spread joy with that, and I can be at peace with that. So, bringing you my thoughts today, thank you for letting me be so vulnerable, and just sending a lot of love to you all.